Welcome to Project Fast Fish on Mike's Motorworks, and today it's all about the treatment of our rust. You'll learn more about it here on Mike's Motorworks and Project Fast Fish. What we're going to do today is we're going to coat the front portion of the frames on the inside of Project Fast Fish. Now, I get it. The E-Body, Barracuda, and Challenger are unibody cars, but there are tubular structures that need to be, well, treated because they were left bare steel. And of course, we're going to make sure that a lot of that rust that we're trying to cut back on doesn't come back. Sure, there's already rust in there, and a lot of it you can't get to, or we can't get to through normal methods. So we need some way to take care of that. And that's where Eastwood has the answer. They have provided the internal frame coating, and it's designed to go up into the tubes of the frame, okay, if you're dealing with a standard tube or four-sided box frame, and coat the inside of them with a rust encapsulator. Now, for those that aren't familiar with the rust encapsulator, it's exactly what it sounds like. It encapsulates the rust and the metal so that moisture can't get into it and create more rust, all right? Now, normally, the process would be to remove rust and scale, which you already saw us do on the last episode, right, on the portions for the floor pans, but inside you can't really get to, and that's where this product steps in because it has additional chemicals inside there that actually coat in the inside and neutralize the rust, and then provide that hard protection. Now, in some other areas, we could also use this, but then it needs to be top coated. But for the insides of the frame, obviously it's protected by the outside, so there's not much to worry about, right? So let's show you what's going on. Now, it's always important to read the Hey Dummy information, right? And the Hey Dummy information in this case pretty much says what we already know about dealing with paints and aerosols. Example, wear eye protection. Okay, wear gloves. I would do this in gloves because there's probably some active agents that might be irritating to our skins, and use in a well-ventilated area. Well, I got the doors open, and so we're well ventilated in here, right? Obviously, if it's in a closed area, you probably want to have some fans circulating and maybe even a respiration mask, right? It says here that, well, I'll just read the directions with y'all. Let's take a look at it here. So Eastwood internal frame coating is designed to encapsulate and prevent internal rust, formulated with an impenetrable phenolic resin. I hope I said that right. Phenolic? Phenolic sounds good. Blended with a zinc phosphate to stop and protect against any further corrosion. All right, so there's definitely some acids in there to help that, right? Here it says, always wear eye protection and chemical-resistant gloves when using. Shake can vigorously for at least 1 minute and occasionally during use. Insert extension tube into the spray nozzle. Insert extension nozzle into the frame opening, bolt holes, etc. Depress spray button and apply coating while pulling the extension nozzle back from the opening, so it goes in reverse, not in. Continue in all areas you can for complete coverage. Internal frames coating viscosity will creep. In other words, it's really, really liquid. It's going to creep into certain areas. In fact, it will drip out. So I'll show you what I did to take care of that. Into pockets and under heavy rust to ensure coverage. To clean the extension tube, attached to Eastwood's PRE painting prep, a few short bursts will clean out the tube and brass nozzle. To prevent clogging after each use, invert the spray can and spray a few short bursts to clear the valve. Spray PRE or solvent through the extension nozzle to clean. All right, fair enough. Okay, so it's got some first aid stuff, some precautionary statements about making sure that you're not using around open flame and it is an aerosol and what have you. Okay, so there we go. So let's take a look at what comes in the package. All right, you're gonna see me open this for the first time here. So here we go. On top, we have, sure enough, our spray nozzle, and it is twisted up there, so we're definitely going to have to correct that because we don't want this thing twisting inside the frame, and I'm going to show you that here in just a few minutes. And of course, the can, and the rest of the box is empty, all right? So I popped the can off, and sure enough, there's your tube. So you could use this with the nozzle itself straight up, or you can use the spray tube, your choice. Very cool. All right, so let's get started. One of the things we're going to have to overcome is the twistiness of the long tube there. Because watch what happens. If this were the frame itself, as I am putting this guy in there, notice its tendency to want to kind of twist up and bind and not go in, right? Right now it's getting caught on the side of the square, the tube right there. So if I were to start spraying right now, you know, that thing is going to be spraying over there, and it's not even spraying straight or what have you. We have to do something to fix that. So let's go ahead and get that taken care of. Alrighty, a little bit of tape here. Just enough to hold it down and hold it straight. Oopsie, we'll have to fix that there. And a little tape down on the other end. I know my arm is in the way, but here, let me take care of that real fast out off the camera. So just a little bit of heat here, nothing too crazy. Wait for it to warm up. There we go, we're warming up. We don't want to melt it. That's not the objective here. We just want to stretch that plastic out and kind of reset that plastic so it no longer wants to spring back. Not a whole lot of heat is required, because if you melt it, well, you got to get another tube. Nicely heated, and sure enough, it's no longer flinging back and curling and twisting as much. I am going to go let that cool for just a quick second, and then we're going to pull it and check it, and we should be good. So this is the area that we will be working in, and as you can see, I already have it taped up on the sides here because I'm going to use a weld-through primer when it's time to put the floor pans on, and we'll talk more about that when it comes time for that. But also what's really interesting here is that you could see this top of the tube where it's kind of a C-channel right here where it goes into the box frame, and of course this goes all the way to the front of the car itself. Really awesome, and it presents a unique opportunity to see how this product actually works. So real quick to demonstrate, you can see I got the hose over here, and we're just going to do a quick spray to see how that nozzle itself actually works, and then we'll actually place it into the frame and go from there. So let's see how that nozzle works. All right, you can kind of see it spreads out there, kind of like a multi-pan pattern. I don't want to do that too much because I'm making a mess, right? So let's go ahead and put this into one of the tubes that I have. I have a lot of the tubes taped off, a lot of those extra drip holes and bolt holes and such. So we're just going to slide this in, one that I know goes all the way to the front. Now I've already used compressed air to blow off any additional debris and sand from our sandblasting, and you can see the hose is right there, right? So ideally, as I start to spray, I should be able to slowly pull that back and have it coat the inside. So let's see how that works and looks from that side. I hope I don't get nothing on the camera because that would be horrible. So here we go. Gently pulling back. All right, came to the end. Yeah. Hey, looky there. That's pretty darn good. All righty, let's get the rest of the car done, and I'll show you how I did that on the other side. All right, this time I'm going to work from this hole right here, and that should bring me right about to where that other hole was. And I'm going to work the area from about here to here. And then I'm going to go the other direction. I'm going to use that same hole and then go from here to here. So let's see what that looks like. I'm going to try to do this the best angle I can for the camera, I hope. Now it is very, very drippy, so just be aware of that. All right, in we go. Trying not to let it get bunched up too much. That should still be straight. And we'll give her the old squirteroo. I hear it working, gently and slowly, pulling out of the hole. All right, and we're gonna do the exact same thing to the front. So here we go. In we go, and forward. Now again, if you've had your car blasted or anything, you definitely want to make sure that your area is free of debris. All right, right now I'm actually having to overcome that K-member bolt where the K-member itself goes in, but once I get it past that, it should slide all the way to the front here. And again, I'm doing this from a weird angle simply because of the camera, okay? Probably better for me to actually get up inside here and do this, but I think the idea is still the same here. So here we go. Off we go again. Oh yeah. And I can see it spraying through. Alrighty. And there we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn it upside down and take it outside and clear the nozzle. Now, just be aware after using the product, it's a really good thing that I went ahead and taped up all the access holes, or the excessive holes, or access holes in this case, that I didn't want to use, and it really helped keep the mess down. You can see that it is kind of a messy product because it is very viscous and it does get everywhere. So be aware of that. But it's also a good idea to go ahead and tape up the holes where you don't want things to blow out, or where you really want the product to stay itself. Went ahead and took the opportunity to go ahead and spray off the inside to coat the inside of the rails here. Again, just extra protection, a little bit of added insurance, if you will. I'll probably just put the regular nozzle on and then finish up. But I actually did that with just the straight tube nozzle, as you saw on the other side. I'm gonna try the other side without the tube nozzle and see how it goes. So overall, the product seems to work pretty good. Again, this side is not going to see any kind of abrasion. Now, if you're going to see abrasion somewhere, you're going to need to choose a different product. And we'll talk about that on a future episode. In fact, we're going to be using a two-stage 2K epoxy primer on a lot of the parts on the bottom once we get to that point, and a lot of the areas that we won't see again. So we'll get there eventually, but thank you for watching, and definitely the ease of use of the Eastwood internal frame coating is pretty awesome. Definitely recommend it. Thanks for watching.